these 8 elements. And for the first time ever, WHO took the responsibility of drafting guidelines on the management of LTBI, acknowledging that it might be, for the moment, be more appropriate for low incidence, high resource settings, but that an increasing number of countries year by year might get into the group of countries which are really targeted by this guideline. And finally, of course, very importantly, in the NTB strategy, among the top 10 priorities, we have one indicator and one target which directly covers preventive treatment and which bind us to move much more quickly than what we are doing now. Looking at the algorithm which is proposed for the management, diagnosis and treatment of LTBI, then there are some focal areas that are definitely of interest for research. And the very first one is the leading test. In low incidence countries, we are not supposed to treat patients unless we understand that they are eligible for treatment, and that is possible by optimizing diagnostic tests, which is the major focus of the task force. But of course, there are also other interesting areas like exclusion of active TB, which is critical and difficult today and will need better diagnostic tests for inclusion. And of course, then will be the area of treatment. So we talk about elimination. So if we want to eliminate the seedbeds of TB in the world, we know all the quotations, 2 billion of the people are infected. Are we addressing these 2 billion people? And the answer is no, because when you get into the job of testing and treatment for LTBI, then we need to make a trade-off between benefits and harms of treatment. And with current diagnostic tools and with current treatment regimens, it is an unfavorable trade-off treating all these 2 billion. So because of these limitations, mass testing and treatment is discouraged, and we are targeting high-risk groups. And there are recommendations of who these high-risk groups would be, with a strong recommendation for testing and treatment, with conditional recommendations for testing and treatment, and even with a recommendation against testing of treatment with a public health approach perspective. If you put all these together, we are very far from the 2 billion people. So we are now targeting a small proportion of these. What we need to go beyond and to expand the number of high-risk populations that we can touch, what we can do is reduce the number needed to treat by improving the test. Currently, with currently available tests, the average number needed to treat to prevent 1 TB cases using IGRAS or using TST, not much difference between the two tests, is above 40. And it is not acceptable. We definitely need to bring it down, improving the positive predictive value, a test of progression, which reduce number needed to treat. And of course, we can also work on the area of improving the tolerability of treatment. With this in mind, 1 year ago, the new diagnostic working groups established, as Katerina has just mentioned, one of the 3 task force was on test of progression for LTBI, and the key objectives of the task force were, these were established 12 months ago, to enhance the knowledge base and support consensus building by engaging participants of key experts and stakeholders towards development of 3 products. The first one is a concept paper revitalizing or revisiting what we know currently on latent infection and how it develops into active disease, by, based on this understanding, preparing a target product profile for a test of progression, and then providing guidance to those interested in validation studies of candidate tests on how to conduct field research for this validation. And this is just to mention that all these 3 products fits very well into the objectives of the global plan targets. So they don't come out of the blue, but they were selected to fit what are considered to be the global priorities. The task force was formed, and you can see there the members of the task force, and all and beyond the members, a large community gave strong support and advice. One of the important steps achieved last year was a second expert workshop for the development of tests, so a face-to-face meeting. The first happened in 2014, hosted in Geneva, and that started the process. The process is still going on. You can find a summary report of the meeting in Milano, which is on the desk outside. This is not a final product, but gives you an insight on how the work is developing. And where are we now with the three products? The first, the viewpoint, has been finalized and submitted. And submitted and accepted in the Lancet Respiratory Medicine, supposed to come up very soon. The lead author of that is Frank Koblenz. Concerning the target product profile, we are currently working on the last version of this document, and this work is led by Samuel Schumacher and Claudia Denkinger at FIND. And finally, concerning the guidance document for study designs, this is also towards the final version of the document, and the league authors there are Sandra Kick and Frank Koblenz. These two products are supposed to be brought for final endorsement at WHO at the beginning of 2017, so we might have those completed by the spring of 2017. Thank you very much.